think the childhood trauma you experience while growing up will affect your marriage? Yes, it will affect your marriage if left unchecked, but help is available. My name is Sandra Ezeji Anyaele. I am your Marriage Foundation reality coach. I want to thank my returning subscribers. I want to also say welcome to my new subscribers to this life-changing channel. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that is hardly spoken of. Yes, remember on my channel, I talk about things that create problems in marriage, but we hardly talk about them. One of those topics is childhood trauma. And that is why I have rightly titled today's topic as How to Cope with Childhood Trauma at the Early Stage of Your Marriage. I cannot talk about today's topic without first of all saying that childhood trauma does exist. Yes, it does. And childhood trauma can be seen in either a man or a woman. It is not something that is synonymous to either the man or the woman. I want us to get that straight. Now, I want to also say that I had my own childhood trauma. I want to talk about it so that it is going to help us to understand the points I am going to make today. Remember, one of the reasons I'm making this video is to help us understand that certain things that happen in marriage is as a result of childhood trauma. It's as a result of childhood trauma because if it is left unchecked, it's going to cause marital issues. In my own case, one of the childhood traumas I had was the death of a loved one. If you can remember vividly, I mentioned in one of my videos, maybe I'll put the link up there, some of the reasons I started my YouTube channel. It was actually the death of my father. I saw how it affected my mother. I saw how my mother single-handedly trained us. I saw how broken she was. I also said in that video that before my father even died, we sold and spent almost everything. Yeah. So we went back to ground zero. That is just the truth. You know, sometimes when we don't talk about these things, it's as if they did not happen, but they did happen. And we talk about this so that we bring it home so that people can learn. Childhood trauma comes in various forms. Like in my case, that was when I realized that a woman cannot really do it alone. And that was also when I realized that as a woman, if you are not economically empowered, you will have a problem. And that was when I also realized that as a woman, if you are depending solely on people to survive, you are making a big mistake. That is why I also call on parents to try hard in training their children because you are their role models. Even though that is not the topic we are going to talk about today, but I'm trying to, make a reference point, kind of. So, seeing my mother go through that helped me to make a resolve that I am going to do all it takes to be enterprising. I am going to do all it takes to be resourceful as a woman, no matter the kind of man I get married to. Yes, I made that resolve growing up. Now, there's so many types of traumas. In my own case, it was the death of a loved one. It could also be a divorce. It could also be bullying. It could also be violent, both emotional, both physical, mental. There are so many types of childhood trauma, yes. And do you know that knowingly or unknowingly you carry it to your married life? That's just the truth. In my own case, I carried it there because there are some things that I will see, it will just take me back to the time when my father died and how my mother suffered. And that is why one of the reasons I try to do what I do is because of that, my childhood trauma. That is why even up to today, I don't like it when I see a woman going through hell, trying to raise a child. You might be wondering, my own trauma, maybe it affected me positively. Not really. I cannot really say so because even as children, we went through a lot too. As much as it was our mother that was, doing all the thinking, all the suffering, so to speak, as children too, we were watching her. Even though she was not talking about it, but we saw her go through that. And as children, we were now thinking, negatively towards the so-called relative. Because we were now thinking if they were there to help us, so many things that we went through, or so many things my mother went through, she wouldn't have gone through them. But we have survived it. This is now. I'm making this video just to let us know that there are some things that happen in marriages that is as a result of childhood trauma. That is the whole essence of making this video. If you are a young lady seeking to get married and you have some childhood trauma, please, one of the ways that you are going to cope with it is by telling the person that you want to get married to. Then if you as a guy or as a man had your own childhood trauma, please, there are ways that you go about it so that it doesn't affect your marriage. By the time you tell you are intended, what your childhood trauma was like, it will help the person to cope with you in some certain ways. Like in my own case, I told my husband about my childhood trauma. Yes, but I did not tell him when we were starting. I did not do that. I have to be honest, because if I don't say it the way it is, then I'm not being fair. I'm not being fair because you don't even know how to tackle it. You don't even know how to go about it. So like I said, I did not tell him from the beginning how it affected me. It was in the course of our being married that I mentioned it to him, because it was affecting me negatively. So I had to mention it to him. I had to tell him, I said, see, sometimes I do what I do because of so and so. And he will understand, because it is not really easy. But what if the person you are getting married to does not understand? I plead with you to understand, because it is not this person's fault. Neither is it your own fault. Yes, it is neither his fault, that is, the person that went through that trauma, or the person you are getting married to. So what do you do to help? If you love this person genuinely, I beg of you, listen to the complaints of this person. Know areas where you can help. One of the areas you can help is to assure this person that you are here to assist. You are here to support. You don't have to hold it against him or her, because, like I said, it is not their fault. It is just what they ended up seeing. It is what they ended up experiencing as a child, and it is not their fault. So one of the ways you will help someone that has gone through childhood trauma is to assure this person that you will always be there for him or her. One of the ways you will also help this person is by assuring this person also that he or she should throw away those childhood trauma and face his or her future. Yes, and that you will be there for him or her. Another way you can help this person is by, when the person is upset, because those are some of the things the person will put up with. Sometimes you remember it, because once in a while you will remember it. When you remember it, the best way to help this person is not by antagonizing this person. The best way is by, sometimes you can give this person gap, in that mood. You don't have to be exchanging words with this person. You don't have to be telling this person bad things that he or she does not want to hear, because you'll be aggravating it. What you can do is to, you can step aside for some time. Then when this person is, when this person has calmed down a bit, you can now go to this person and tell him or her what the person needed to hear. This is one of the ways you can cope. Another way you can cope is by reading books, inspiring books that will remove your mind from those traumas. You can also help yourself by doing the things that you love, things that you are passionate about. You can also tell this person that if he or she, was not happy with the experience he or she had while growing up, that those things that he or she was not happy about, he or she should not do those things. Let me give you an example. Assuming you experienced bullying growing up, what do you think you can do? The best way to cope is not by bullying others, but to stop bullying in any form of bullying. What do I mean? You will so much hate bullying that even when you see someone, who has the tendency of bullying another person, you will frown at it. You can go to this person and say, don't do that. This is not good. Because you have seen these things firsthand, you are in a better position to advise somebody who has the tendency of bullying. If, on the other hand, the person you want to get married to, either male or female, assuming it is the person you want to get married to is the person that is a bully, what do you do? In order to help this person to cope, because, anytime somebody that went through a childhood trauma sees anybody with that kind of attitude, it triggers it. Yes, that's the truth. It will immediately take you back to your childhood. And you feel like punching the person. You feel like doing something to hurt that person. That's just the truth. That's how it is. So, the best way to cope is what? Those things that you did not like, or those things that you saw that were trauma when you were growing up, you don't do such things. You will even help those who are in that situation, for them to cope as well. That's how it works. Don't frown at it. Don't be mad at yourself. It is not your fault. Remember, there's this saying that nobody determines where he or she is born. So if you are born in that kind of family, or if you see yourself in that kind of environment, so what do? You didn't put yourself there, remember? Yes, that's just the truth. So don't be too hard on yourself. Childhood trauma does exist, and there is help. The help are some of these things we are mentioning. There are a lot of childhood examples of childhood trauma. Yeah, that is why some people, when they do certain things, please take your mind back. You can also ask them questions to know where they are coming from, because where they are coming from can be the cause of the problem you people are having in that relationship. You don't start tackling it by condemning this person. It's not this person's fault. You don't start by telling this person, what kind of person are you, self? You don't blame this person. You try by, using soothing words on this person. You try by telling this person things that will change his or her mind. You try by letting this person know that it is not his or her fault, but that you are there to help. That is it. Comfort this person, because this person needs reassurance. Promise this person that you will help. Tell this person that it is not his fault or it is not her fault. Bring this person's mind down so that this person will understand that, what is happening to him or her is not just his fault or it's not just her fault. Reassure this person. That is how to cope. You don't cope by blaming this person totally. You don't cope by giving the person ultimatum. If you don't change, then this relationship is over. Then you are not there to help. Then, if you people are newly married, please, those tantrums, those behavioral patterns that you put up and your partner is complaining, take your mind back, do a reflection and ask yourself, why am I doing some of the things I do? Then when you have found out that it is because of your childhood trauma or because of the childhood experiences, please kindly tell your partner so that this person will know how to help you. Because if you don't tell the person what your problem is, how do you think this person will help you? That is just the truth. Take your mind back. There is no shame to it, my darling. Because if you tell somebody what your problem is, the person will know how to help you. The person will know how to go about it. And then you, your partner has told the problem, it is not the time for you to start condemning him or her. It is not the time, because you are not being fair if you do that. And it is not the time for you to run and go and tell your friend, see, look at the kind of person I married though. I did not know this, I did not know that. Now I've married him or her. I don't know what to do. Don't do that. It is not something that you take outside. It is something that both of you can resolve amicably in the house. By doing that, it means that you want your house, you want your home to be peaceful. Because when you see this problem, it is the problem that you want to tackle. It is not the individual. Please don't try to tackle the individual. It is the problem you need to tackle. And when you tackle the problem, you will see that you will see that there will be solution. And when there is solution, then everybody will be happy. I started this video by telling you my own childhood trauma. Yes, I did not hide it. There are other ones, but I just gave this one as an example. And when I did a reflection and found out those childhood traumas, I had to tackle them. I had to talk to my husband about them. Yes, there are some things that he want to do. I said, no. I saw this thing growing up. Please don't do it. Don't take me back to my childhood. And he will start apologizing. And he will start to, he will start looking for ways to help out. That is how it should be. It is not that time that you will start condemning this person. That is not the solution. Look for solution. Tackle the problem in your marriage and not the person, please. Another way you can cope is by having a mind shift. Yes, having a mindset shift. Yes. When you have a mindset shift, you tell yourself that even though these are my childhood traumas, I am willing to let go of them. I am willing to help myself. I am willing to make a change. The fact that I grew up in that kind of environment or grew up in that kind of household should not define who I am. You tell yourself that you have resolved to change this in your life, change that in your life when you get married, so that there will be a difference. So that even people that knew you when you were growing up will see you and say, wow, your environment did not affect you at all. Some people allow their environment to affect them in so many ways. Some people allow their childhood to, even though it's not their fault. But when you frown at, those childhood tantrums, you are not going to repeat them. If God blesses you with children, would you want your children to go through that kind of trauma? No is the answer. So what do? Some of the things we do it for our unborn children. We do it because of our children that are yet unborn. Yes, we don't want them to experience what we have experienced. That is why you need to make the changes before they even arrive. That is just the truth. So, for instance, if somebody experienced a childhood trauma whereby, the father was beating the mother, and you didn't like that, the best way for you to cope is not by beating your own wife when you marry. Yes, it's by showing your wife genuine love and kindness. You can even tell her that even though you grew up in such an environment, because you did not like it, you told yourself that you were not going to do that. And just like me, because of my childhood trauma, I told myself that whoever I get married to, should not stop me. Should not stop me. I repeat it, from being resourceful. Yes, and by God's grace, that is what I ended up doing. That is just it. So these things also prepare you for the future ahead. These things always helps you to know your purpose in life. Because those things that you frown at, those things that you did not like, those things that when you see people do it, you get annoyed, those things that when you see people, behaving in certain way, you feel like beating the hell out of them. Maybe, just maybe, those things are the things that are taking you to your purpose. That's just the truth. Because somebody needs to change those things. Somebody needs to correct those things. It cannot be corrected just by looking at it. It cannot be corrected by just by pretending that they never existed. It cannot be corrected just by having it in our minds and not vocalizing it. It can never be corrected that way. That is why I keep saying that those things that we know, those things that we look at, minor issues, that if left unchecked will become too ambiguous that we cannot even control it. Please let us tackle it from the beginning. The foundation of the marriage is the cocoa of the marriage. So get the foundation right so that everything will be fine. I keep saying that marriage, these are two imperfect people coming together in the name of love. But do you also know that there are some things that you control, there are some things that you avoid at the foundational level that will help you in achieving a joyful marriage? That is just the truth. If you have gone through any childhood trauma, please let us have your thoughts in the comment section. Let us also know ways you are coping, or what you did in order to cope. Like I said, it is not your fault. It is not your fault. Anybody telling you it's your fault, the person is not being fair to you. Because I have been there. And I have mentioned some of the things I did in order to cope with it. We don't want it to continue. Because if we frown at it and we don't talk about it, then the people coming after us will follow the trend, thinking that is the right thing to do. But when we talk about them and then frown at them and then profess solutions, then people coming after us will know what to do. And they will also know that these things are not good. It is not enough for us to say that, yes, we have seen somebody we want to marry. It is not enough for us to say that, yes, we are getting married. It is also very important for us to, map out ways that will make this marriage work. It should be our vision. You might as well look at my video on how to create your marriage vision board. It will also help you, because your vision will tell you areas, like a roadmap, where you're going and how you will get there. That is what the vision does for you. It's like a roadmap. So please, if you know you have gone through any childhood trauma, please, let's have it, because childhood trauma, there are many. Rape is a childhood trauma. Yes, it is. Bullying, violence, physical, emotional, because some people, they will not beat you, they will not go physical, but emotionally they are killing you. There are so many. So please, if there's any childhood trauma that you've gone through, and ways that you cope with that, let's have your thoughts in the comment section so that all of us can learn. We are all learning. We want to make our marriages, we want to make it better. We want people coming after us to do it right, and they cannot do it right if they don't know what to do. Marriage is more than falling in love. Please, my sweethearts, let us say the things that are causing problem. If you know anything that has caused problem or is still causing problem in marriages, let us talk about them. It's as if we are just talking about a particular thing, but there are other things that we can also talk about. Let's have your thoughts in the comment section. Or if you have, if you have a friend or someone that has also coped with child trauma, and the person told you what he or she did, please, let's have your thoughts in the comment section. If this my video has made sense to you, please give it a thumbs up. Share this video so that others can learn. Let us share this video, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on your notification button so that anytime I upload a sweet and interesting video like this one, you will be the first to know. I will see you in my next video.